Specifically, how will you address the economic hardship for Akron residents as it relates to the sewer project?
Well, the first step is to make sure that the EPA and the federal judge accept the recommendations that have been put into the integrated plan. Two things. The integrated plan, first of all, reduces the overall cost of the program by substituting green initiatives. Second, the other piece is the affordability component. Currently, the EPA uses a faulty methodology for determining the affordability of these projects, and in particular how it affects the city of Akron. We service a small portion of Stowe, but all of Stowe is included, the incomes in Stowe are included in that affordability analysis. That automatically skews that off high because the incomes in Stowe are significantly higher than the incomes in the majority of Akron. So with the new methodology, we should be able to get the longer period of time in which to do this project. Right now, Akron has one of the shortest periods of time in the country, and it is adversely impacting the residents by virtue of how much we have to have done, how quickly we have to have it done. It necessitates an escalation in the charges. So it's extremely important that these current negotiations that are going on are done in a good manner so that the citizens can benefit from that.
Okay, let's just assume for a second that we run into that brick wall, and we're not going to be able to make any headway with the judge. We're not going to be able to make any headway with the EPA. Let's just assume that for 1 second. So we're stuck with the cost of a project that, quite frankly, we have to pay. The model has changed. We used to be able to get help from the federal government. We used to be able to get help from the state government. That doesn't happen anymore. It's going to be a user-pay system. There are other options to be able to do that. There are over 700 cities with CSOs across the country. Akron is the only one that sits right in the middle of a national park. And my thought was, so does Lake Erie is a navigable waterway that has the same CSO issue. What we can do specifically is, rather than that social justice bond, I think we can do a super bond, whether that is 35 or 50 years, and that can spread those costs out over that amount of time so it has the least amount of impact to our residents, because it's going to impact the seniors and the poor the most. And I want to put together a program, a lot like your water bills, where you can make payment plans to be able to stretch out those water payments. We should be able to do the same with the sewer bills.
Let me make one thing clear, and this is an opportunity to show how the social impact bond can benefit the city of Akron. We have, and I know that from the consultants that I've worked with and I'm currently working with, they've presented this proposal to the city of Akron before, and it was rejected. But the social impact bond is designed to minimize the cost and risk to the city. We have a situation where we can tell and measure whether or not the sewer is overflowing into the river. That's the measure of success. If they can achieve that, the city gives them a return on their investment. If they can't achieve that, well, we're $30 to $40 million ahead that we don't have to pay for. Now, when it comes down to affordability, I'm all for, let's put some type of cap on these sewer bills, because we have citizens out there that live on fixed income and they cannot afford these increases. What I'm proposing is a social impact bond that pays for success. And while we're getting the project done, there's not going to be an increase to the citizens' costs until after we've measured whether or not the investment has been successful, so we can stabilize those costs.
Rebuttal, go ahead.
That's why I think panels like this and engagements like this, and you all should be thanked too for being here. What we have to worry about is the people that are not here, that are not engaged. It does bring out ideas like that, and that very well could work. But also, you have to look, the federal government's going to mandate 0 overflows. Each one overflow is a significant impact on that cost downward. If we can be able to negotiate that one overflow, that would be able to help. Either way, we're still going to have to pay for it.
I think implicit in your question, there can be some methodologies for addressing particularly low-income people and the impact on them. We have put together some programs, but frankly, they don't reach far enough or impact enough people for it to really be significant. So we have some work to do as it relates to doing some real programs that really help citizens. Mr. Neal brought a proposal before council related to where there's a water leak and dealing with those situations similar to how the city of Stowe does. There's some very simple things that can happen, but you have to have the will in order to do it, and you have to have the political climate in which to do it. We've had members of council that have been very supportive, but we have run into an administration that has not been.
Yes.
Here's the thing, Mr. Horrigan just proved my point. The measure of success with the social impact bond, if it goes to zero, then the city pays. The beauty of it is that the initial investment is made into the project by the corporations, Goldman Sachs and all of the other philanthropic organizations that have bought into the social impact bond. And if it does not work, well, guess what? They fulfilled their philanthropic promise of giving back to the community. But if it does work, they get a modest return on their investment. But the important part is we offer a solution to our immediate need. I'm the only person up here who's thinking out of the box at this point in time.